So, last video I uploaded, we talked about the VTech, the company VTech and the SmartStart, and I said it might be another video if I could find the unit that was the successor of the SmartStart, just to show you how quickly things evolved in terms of the VTech learning stuff. And I actually managed to find it out in storage. So without further ado, the SmartStart was 1987 release, but already in 1989 we had gotten to this state. Let me just adjust the camera a bit for you so you can see. This is the PC PAL, the successor of the SmartStart, with an actual working discs or whatever. This is my boxed Swedish unit. This was released in 1989, very popular, or at least it was available in 89. Here I think it says, yeah, it's 1989. So very popular toy in the European markets. This is a Swedish unit inside. So this is actually an original sold here in Sweden. This is the box. So you can see uses a proper LCD display and so on. So it has, like, with stenciling and stuff, so it's a lot more advanced. In just like 2 years of development time they got to this, and these kids are really happy playing with this thing. So VTech really evolved this concept. This also uses a proper CPU, an actual proper CPU, as opposed to the SmartStart. They have proper ROM in it as well, and also a cartridge port like expansion where you could add more software, because the software you see is not actually on the discs. The discs are just used to select software. But let's unbox it and see what it looks like. So this is mint condition original boxed unit with all the stuff. Here you can see a little plastic. This one says discs in Swedish, so I assume these are the program discs. Yeah. So these have all the programs you can run. A total of, I think, 18 exercises, so it's 9 cards. And these work like an old punch card reader. So in the slot there's a mechanism that will detect which exercise you want based on the punched holes here. So the thing is, these are meant to replicate floppy disks, of course, for the kids. It's quite an innovative feature, but the software is all in ROM. The ROM size is about 212 kilobytes, I think, about there, at least as far as I've seen. I'm not going to take this one apart because it's horrible. On the inside is a lot of like small tiny screws and stuff, but it uses a Z80 CPU and a standard LCD display panel with stenciling for some of the characters. You'll see that later on. Here are the exercises. So there's like the puzzle game, drawing, different types of math exercises, word jumble. These are all in Swedish, by the way, so I'm translating for you. Word guessing, which is basically, yeah, it's hangman, memory, music composer, as you saw on the SmartStart. This works the same. Ball game, which is basically Pong, spelling. So it has a lot more. Where the SmartStart we looked at was purely maths and the music part. This one has more versatile exercises. So let's see what else in the box. Instruction manual, where you can see how to do the different exercises. how to create animations with the drawing software, because you can do small pixel-based animations and play them back, and so on and so forth. So yeah, and let's see if we can get it out of the box as well. There's a little bit of styrofoam and stuff in there. Let's see if we can do that. Let's get the box here. Original plastic bag. Let's get these off. Yep. And this is what the unit looks like. So in only like a brief 2 years or so of time, we went from the very rudimentary SmartStart to this. And the discs go here, where the punch card reading mechanism is here. And then you have a place to store your fake floppy disks, which is in this compartment right here. So they go in here. Close that. You have a carrying handle, very good for the kids, bring it around the house. It's a Swedish keyboard on this model, but it's a membrane keyboard, just like on the SmartStart. This one is much better. Still not good, by the way. It's actually still horrible, like most cheap membrane keyboards, but at least it's better than the cutout stencil part from the SmartStart, which is completely horrible. Brightness, you have half bright, full bright for the LCD, and then you have the battery compartment, runs on AA batteries, and you have a way to choose the different activities. If you should, these cards can actually also be replaced with cardboard cutouts if you want, because there's, as I said, there's just a punch hole reader mechanism in here. So latching into the much better speaker on this one down here, and you have these little feet that you can extend so that you can have the unit like this. This one is programmable era, so it doesn't have the built-in basic that VTech delivered on some of the later models. It's still just the different activities that you get built in. You cannot program it, but it's still much better activities than on the much more rudimentary SmartStart. So in just 2 years we went from that to this. So it's clear that they evolved the concept quite extensively. This is also a very nice looking unit. I really like the design of the PC PAL. In a way, it's still not a full-blown computer in that it's a single-purpose device, toy more or less, but it's still very cool. You can also run this off of a 9-volt DC adapter if you wanted to, if you want to save on batteries. And you also have this extension port here. You have also a headphone jack, and you have the extension port there. This is for cartridges with extra activities. So you would buy new activities. And by the way, this one doesn't have that horrible book concept that the SmartStart had, because this is less rudimentary, so you can actually have more complex activities directly on this unit. But you would buy a kit with a cartridge here and additional activity cards, so hole cards that you can put in the reader. But what that would do is that it would contain an extension ROM with new activities. So remember, everything is pre-programmed onto this, but then if you insert the cartridge, it will add more activities that will then be triggered by the new cards that you insert. This is a quite intricate system as well, but they could theoretically release extensions for this one, as long as there is room in the number of like combinations of the punched holes on the cards to accommodate new activities. for the because if it doesn't find, the way the ROM onboard is constructed is that if it doesn't find that particular combination that leads to an activity on the built-in 18 ones, it will look at the address space on the expansion slot and see if there's a corresponding activity there, or it will just keep asking for a new card or a new number, activity number. So it can theoretically be extended quite far. As far as I know, there were only 3 extension packs released for it, of which I have none. So let's see if we can put this back on. And that's basically the overview of... that's difficult to put back on with the looking at it this way. Okay, let's see. There we go. So that's an overview of the machine itself, and now let's put it to some use just so that you can see it. Okay, so let's see if we can run it a bit. Then you have some discs here from the compartment there, so you have like ball game. These are in Swedish, by the way, so I will translate for you the best I can. Ball game, compose, we make music and stuff, number hunt, lots of math things, drawing, where you can make little animations like pixel animations, puzzle, word guess, which is basically hangman, word jumble, where the letters are mixed. You can, and here you can, by the way, see, remove this little hatch. You can see the cartridge port here, where you can insert additional software cartridges, which also came with additional discs. So you can expand the unit with some additional exercises. I don't have any of these, like I mentioned before, so we'll have to make do with the built-in ones. Let's see if we can power it on so you can see it running as well. Let's move the camera over here without knocking anything over, I hope. It's a Swedish keyboard, as you can see. Press the on button. Yep, that's a nice loud sound, and you can see that the screen is much nicer on this model. It's an actual full LCD screen with the stenciling in on some of them, like on the old LCD games, where there's some stenciled pictures that or marquees that make it even sharper. Now it says kort, which is in Swedish means card, so it wants you to insert a card. Let's take the hangman one on skill level 1. So we insert the disc, and now it wants us to guess something, so I guess M. Nope, that's not it. Okay, N. Yep, there's an N in it. Okay, that's good. E. Nope. A. No. Okay. I. Nope. U. Okay, this is starting to look concerning. O. Nope, that's not it. There's got to be another vowel in it, right? I assume so, at least. E. I already guessed E. U. Whoop. Now we're in some sort of trouble. Could it be one of the... it's the Swedish sound. It's näsa, I suppose, which in Swedish is nose. So let's see if we press an S, I guess. Yep. Woohoo! But that guy was grumpy because we only got 30 points. Oh, so 3 letters. Oh, you get the so you get the point. So trying another one. We can get... The composer works exactly like it did on the SmartStart, where you enter like this and you press pause, and then you enter new tone sequences, and then you can have it played back for you. The the memory game. Let's try the memory game. It also says hello in Swedish when you start it. So let's take the memory game. You can see that the games are more advanced than they were. Okay, so here you use the arrow keys to select the bucket, like this, and you press this, and then you see there's an S there, and then you have to find the same symbol. So you're supposed to match it with a bucket that also contains an S. So I guess I'm gonna guess this one, and that was wrong. So let's go with, now we know that's an E, so let's go with this one, and that's a large S. So it could be this one maybe. Yeah, we got it right. So then you play the memory game like that. And there's a bunch of games for this. I was included with this. Spelling is another one. Drawing. One of the most confusing ones are the... let's try the ball game, because this is the only game, actual video game included. Or actual game as such. So it wants you to... Okay, here we go. So we're entering the ball game, and here you use the up and down to bounce the ball as many times as possible. So more advanced screen than on the SmartStart, as we can see, and more advanced software as well. A much sharper screen. And that guy was pissed again because we missed the ball. So there's a lot of different exercises that you can do, much more elaborate than what the SmartStart was just a few years prior to this. So let's do the missing letters games. You can see. So it has not only maths like the SmartStart did, but also spelling exercises and things like that. So, okay, so it wants us to spell this thing, which will now be in Swedish, but it shows little animations like that you can create within that grid using the drawing application as well. You can create your own animations. The Hangman game, by the way, is also available in a 2-player variant, where on the second side, one player enters the word, and then the other player hands the unit over to another player who guesses the word. So that's just some rudimentary cooperative abilities here. And it wants us to say myra, I suppose, which in Swedish is ant. So let's press the Y key. Yep, and it rewards us with that 3 frames of animation and a happy guy. And that is definitely a book. So it wants you to spell what you can see on the screen, more or less. And BOK is book in Swedish. But let's say we do it wrong. So we do this, and the guy gets grumpy. Okay, so then you can try again. And this unit is actually useful still for like teaching things to kids. It actually has a potential still with some good exercises. There's some good however rudimentary by today's standard exercises here, but you can give this to a kid and they can actually have fun with it, and they can actually learn something. So it actually works as a learning unit still. And this so the PC PAL was later on, they got even more advanced, but this is like the last of the 80s ones where it really was this was a cool thing to have in the 80s in terms of toy computers. This was it has like I said, nice set of exercises, and it's still useful for the kids. It wants us to enter V, I guess, which is 2 in Swedish. But so and also some fun things that the kids can do. So I mean, today it's very rudimentary, but you have to remember that in 1989 or something, this was actually pretty cool for a kid, with all of these different interactive exercises and stuff. So it's a nice unit, and I also like the design of it. It's nicely built, and this one, like I said, has more of a proper CPU in it than what the SmartStart and the earlier devices had. And it has a proper ROM and so on and so forth, which, as far as I know, hasn't been dumped yet, but I don't know, maybe it has. But as far as I know, there's no way to emulate this unit, but there should be, because it's an interesting piece of technology. So thanks for watching. This will be the final, I think, VTech device for a while that I'm gonna look at. It was just because I happen to have this boxed in a nice condition, and I like this unit, so I just wanted you to see this one as well, and how it evolved in just a couple of years. So thanks for watching, and next time we'll do something else. We'll see what